Here we have the notes for intercept form. So intercept form looks like this, sometimes referred to as factored form because it has two different factors that have x's in them. Intercept form is useful for determining the x-intercepts, why it's called the intercept form. X1 and x2 are the values of the x-intercepts, so when y is 0, the places they cross the x-axis. To find them, you break the equation apart, set each factor by itself equal to 0 and solve. Now a will be a number, so you don't have to worry about that guy. The vertex can also be determined from intercept form. So there's our equation for h. This is actually not the right equation for k. For this one, we do have to do the version where we plug in to the original value. So it's going to look like this, x minus h minus x2. So the regular x's are what gets substituted for. Okay, so determine the x-intercepts and the y-intercepts of the following equations. So x-intercepts we can just get from our factors. So we take each factor separately, equal to 0, and solve. So this one, 5 would equal x. This one, x would equal 1. So there's our x-intercepts. To find the y-intercept, you set x equal to 0. So negative 0 plus 5, 0 minus 1. So that's 5 times negative 1. So the y-intercept will be at negative 5. So as a coordinate, 0, comma, negative 5. Over here, 5, comma, 0, and 1, comma, 0. So for this guy, let's break them apart. So x is negative 5. This one, bring the x to the right. Negative 1 is equal to x. So x-intercepts are at negative 1, comma, 0, and negative 5, comma, 0. To find the y-intercepts, plug 0 in. So 0 just makes the x's go away, so I'm going to kind of shortcut this. If that's 0, this becomes negative 1 times positive 5, or negative 5 again. So 0, comma, negative 5. So x minus 5 equals 0, x minus 1 equals 0. So x is 5 or x is 1. Factor separately. So 5, comma, 0, 1, comma, 0. For the y-intercepts, x has become 0, so this just becomes negative 5 times negative 1, or positive 5. So 0, comma, 5. And our last one, x minus 2 equals 0, maybe the last one. So this would be x is positive 2, this would be x is negative 3. So 2, comma, 0, and negative 3, comma, 0 for our intercepts. If I make x 0 to find the y-intercepts, the x's go away. This becomes negative 2 times positive 3, or negative 6. So 0, negative 6. Okay, so intercept form coefficients and stuff like that. So once again, our a value is up or down. Their intercepts here, the trick is that where the graph crosses the x-axis will actually be the opposites of the numbers inside the parentheses with the x's. Because when you solve these, for example, this would become x equals 9, x equals 4, which would be over here. But the trick is find your intercepts and look for the opposites over here. So this guy opens down, so it can't be the first one or the third one because they have positive a values. And we cross at negative 9 and negative 4. So I'm looking for positive 9 and positive 4, which is this one, second one. All right, so for this one, we're opening down again, so it cannot be the third or fourth ones. We are crossing at positive 7 and positive 9, so I'm looking for negative 7 and negative 9, which is second one. Okay, and there's only 2 of those. So extreme values. So we'll have to find our h value first, and then we can find our k value. So for the h value, the trick for this is if we know our intercepts, it's always going to be halfway in between them. So remember, your intercepts are the opposites of these values. So my intercepts are at 9 and 6. So to find the value for h, I add them up and divide by 2. So that's what, 15 over 2 or 7.5. So to find the, this one will have a minimum. So remember, minimum is a is greater than 0, maximum is a is less than 0. So to find the value, we're going to plug our 7.5 back in for x. So 3 times 7.5 minus 9, 7.5 minus 6. So 3 times negative 1.5 times positive 1.5. As a quick check, those numbers should be the same if you've calculated your h value correctly. And then from there, we can just go to our calculator. So 3 times negative 1.5 times positive 1.5. So this will have a minimum of negative 6.75. So for here, our intercepts are going to be positive 6 and positive 3. So to find the value for h, we add them up, divide by 2. So 9 over 2 is 4.5. So 4.5 minus 6, 4.5 minus 3. So that's negative 1.5, positive 1.5. When you work it out, negative 2.25, I think. Yep. Oh, max or min, a value is positive, so let's get a minimum. So 7 will have a max, a value is negative. So my zeros are 9 and 6. Add them up and divide by 2. So that's 15 over 2 again, or 7.5. So negative 3, 7.5 minus 9, 7.5 minus 6. So negative 3 times negative 1.5 times positive 1.5. This is actually the same problem we just had up here, just the signs are a little bit different. So it's going to come out to be positive 6.75. And our last one, negative, so this will have a max, 5 and 3, add them up, divide by 2. So that's 8 over 2, or 4. Negative 3 times 4 minus 5, 4 minus 3. So plug it back in to find the y value. Let's see, that's going to be negative 1 and positive 1. So this all just comes out to be 3. So there is the end of our section.